I'm here in New York City for REIT Week 2019, NAREIT's Investor Conference. Joining me today is Jeff Theiler, Chief Financial Officer with Physicians Realty Trust. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, part of Physicians Realty Trust's mission is to help medical providers offer better health care. How do you balance that important goal with also ensuring that your investors achieve their anticipated results?
That's a good question, because it is a balance, but I also think it's pretty complementary. Obviously, as human beings, we want to help healthcare systems deliver the best care they can to the community, but we want to do it for a long time. So we want to make sure that our shareholders have adequate returns to keep us in business while we do it. So I think it's actually, it's a great balance. What we do is when we purchase buildings from healthcare systems or developers, we work to keep those buildings bright and clean and fresh and a nice place for patients to get their health care. And we'll also add services to the buildings oftentimes, like operating rooms or imaging centers, to really provide the best possible location for patients to receive the care that they can. So, and healthcare systems are more than happy to compensate us for that service because it allows them more time to concentrate on their true mission, which is really just providing healthcare to the community.
And Life Care Holdings filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last month. How is this going to impact Physicians Realty Trust business going forward?
Yeah, so Life Care is a long-term acute care hospital operator, and we own 3 facilities that were operated by Life Care. They filed bankruptcy on May 6, as you mentioned. So I think there's 2 pieces of good news for our shareholders. The first is that the LTAC industry is a difficult industry right now, and Life Care obviously had some troubles. The 3 facilities that they operate for us are actually profitable. So they cover their rent at 2 times. So we feel that whoever they end up selling the company to through the bankruptcy process will want to own those assets or want to operate those assets. So I think that's the first piece of good news for our shareholders. The second piece of good news is those are the only 3 long-term acute care hospitals we own. So we bought those early on in the company's life cycle, and it constitutes less than 2% of our overall revenue.
And finally, at last year's REIT Week, Physicians Realty Trust identified a trend in higher demand for medical service assets as the population lives longer. How has that impacted your business, and what are some of the other healthcare trends that you're watching?
Yeah, so whenever you evaluate a business, whether operating or real estate or whatever, you want to look for the fundamental headwinds or tailwinds that it's facing. So obviously healthcare has fantastic tailwinds going for it. We've got more of the population aging, turning 65, the baby boomers turning 65, and that's the time when healthcare spending really ramps up. So we feel like we're right in the sweet spot from that point of view. And at the same time, healthcare systems are really focusing on delivering more of their health care outside of the hospital system into these ancillary lower cost settings like medical office buildings, which are what we own. So we feel like we're at the perfect nexus of those 2 trends, so we feel really good about the position that we have there. The other thing that we're watching are deals like the CVS Aetna deal, where they're creating 1,500 home health hubs, which is really primary care doctors. So instead of going to a medical office building to see a primary care doctor, you'll go to a CVS perhaps that's closer and more convenient. So we've known for a long time that was a possibility, so we focus our efforts in terms of growing our portfolio on buildings that are more specialized, buildings that have operating rooms, imaging services, things that you can't easily transplant to a drugstore.
Great. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
For more information on REIT Week 2019, be sure to visit NAREIT's website, REIT.com.